So today I'm going to be giving you guys all you need to know for your freshman year. This is my survival guide. Hi guys, what is up? It's Ariel. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with a new video all about college and my freshman advice for you rising freshmen or just anyone in college really. So I'm kicking off my back to school series with this video. It's just going to be an advice video. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions or some things that you wanted advice on, and I'm going to be answering some of those, but then also just giving you the tips that I just wish I knew coming into my freshman year. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to Wondershare's PDFelement for sponsoring this video. I've worked with them a bunch before and they are some of my favorite softwares to use for school and work. It's basically a software that you can use to edit PDFs, convert PDFs into other documents, and my favorite feature is converting Word documents to PDF and then taking PDF documents and converting them to Word. Another feature about PDFelement that I love is how easy and versatile it is on my phone. I actually have the app downloaded and I love how it works the same and it's just as powerful as the desktop version. So on here I'm doing the convert, which I said which is one of my favorite features, and I'm just converting a PDF document into a Word document, and then you can convert it to other documents as well, and you can also convert it back too. So it's just super useful and very versatile. This software works with Windows, it works with iPhones, Androids, Apple, and it's definitely something that I use a lot as a college student and also as a YouTuber. I'm gonna have more information on PDFelement down below in the description box along with on the screen, and if you want to find out more information, make sure to click down below. I'm literally going to be talking about everything because I had so many questions, so many concerns, and I wanted so much advice before I went to college, and I definitely wanted this video, so I'm going to be making it for you guys. So it hopefully makes your transition so much easier into college. I am currently a college student. I'm going into my final year at Liberty University. I'm studying strategic communications and social media management, and my minor is in women's ministry. So I guess the first thing that I wondered before I went into college was, did I pick the right college? I feel like so many people just wonder this and are worried about this going into school. And I remember even 6 months into school, I was still wondering my first year, like, did I make the right choice? Am I supposed to be here at this school? Is this where I belong? For those who are in college and it's like in the middle of the year and you're having qualms about did I make the right decision, I would say that probably 85% of people think that they didn't make the right decision when it came to college. I know I certainly thought it, and now I'm so glad that I chose Liberty, and I definitely know I picked the right college. But to people who are seriously considering that they made the wrong choice and want to transfer, my advice is just to stick out a whole year, because in my experience, one semester can be so different from the next semester. Like my freshman year, the first semester was so different from the second year. And then the past year that I was just at school, like the 2 semesters were literally night and day. The beginning semester, I did not enjoy that much. And then the second semester, I loved. I would say stick it out a whole year and honestly be there and like be present at that school. Put effort in, try to make friends. Don't just decide that you don't like it. And at the end of a year, if you are still like, I just don't feel like this is the right place for me, then I would just recommend maybe like looking into transferring, or maybe looking into moving to a new housing situation, or changing your major, or like seeing what you really don't like about that school and then going off of there instead of just being like, I made the wrong choice and I should leave. Next, I'm going to be talking about transferring. Let me just say that a huge misconception is that a lot of people don't transfer from schools. I'm telling you, a lot of the friends that I have at Liberty, or just people that I know, are transfer students or have transferred, and it's completely normal. It's so common for people to transfer, and it's definitely nothing to be ashamed of or afraid of if it happens. This was something that I was so nervous about coming into Liberty, because I was like, no one's gonna want to be my friend. I'm not gonna have any friends, and it's gonna take me a while to get adjusted and feel like I meet people and like I feel connected. And I think the cool thing about coming in as a freshman is that so many people around you are in the same boat as you. Like so many people are like, I just want to meet friends and I want to get involved. And I think it's cool that so many people want the same things because it's so much easier to just make friends. Like in your classes, people are really welcoming and open to meeting new people the first few weeks. So you can kind of just be like, hey, like what's your name, and talk to them. And if you hit it off, be like, oh, do you want to grab coffee sometime after class? And it's a completely normal, like not weird thing to do. Or even now in college, I feel like it's not weird for me to be like, oh, do you want to grab coffee, or do you want to grab lunch? And everyone's like, oh yeah, like of course. And I think just in our minds, we like psych ourselves out. We're like, oh, it's gonna be so hard to make friends. But I think if you're friendly and you're willing to be a little bold and like take the initiative to just ask people to hang out, or like get people's contacts, or just talk to them in class, it's so much easier to make friends. When it comes also to getting connected, I would definitely say just go to activities. My freshman year, I went to a lot of games and I went to a lot of activities and hall events and stuff, and it definitely helped me branch out and meet new people. I would say that most of the time you get your schedule like pretty well in advance, and as a freshman you're probably there for welcome week, so you're there like a whole week before everyone else. I would say just stake out your classes, like tour the buildings, find your way through campus, have those first few days of that week to kind of just be clueless and figure everything out, because it makes life so much easier when you're there for the first day of school and you have to find your classes and you don't have that rush of like, I don't know where anything is. You kind of know your way already. Plus, if you map out your classes, it's so much easier to just find your way every single day. Another thing that I do every school year too is on my phone, I make my schedule my lock screen so I can have my classes and my times. I have my classes on my phone, since I feel like we're always grabbing our phones and checking the time, and it just makes like navigating school and my classes so much easier. One of the questions that I got is, how do I balance a social life, school, work, and a relationship with Jesus? And I have to say, going into my freshman year, that was probably one of the biggest things that I struggled with, just time management. I think it's such a big adjustment living in the dorms, because it kind of feels like summer camp for the first like few months, and it's really exciting because you live like next door to some of your best friends at school, and you can just go out and hang out with each other anytime you want, and there's nothing really stopping you. I think with that, the struggle is like setting aside time for yourself, setting aside time for school, and to focus on your faith and have your quiet time and go to church and have fun with your friends. It's definitely something that you have to be really disciplined with, and I did not do a good job my freshman year with that. And so when I came back again after that year, I like definitely improved. I would definitely say invest in a planner, prioritize your schedule, and do the things that are important first, and then the leftover time do things that are more fun and happen more often. And then also don't let the fear of missing out, like FOMO, stop you from doing what's important and what needs to be done. I struggled with this too freshman year. I love to spend, like I'm a shopaholic. I love to go out, I love to buy clothes. I like to spend my money on dumb stuff. And I was just very broke for most of freshman year. And when I came back to Liberty, I definitely handled it a lot better, because it just sucks having like $5 in your bank account and not being able to do anything. For one, I started to just stop buying dumb stuff, and I just wouldn't like go out to eat as much, or I would say to my friends like, hey, can we eat at the Rot, which is Liberty's dining hall, or like, can we eat on campus, because I just don't want to spend money. And chances are your friends don't really want to spend money either. Most of my friends most of the times would just be like, yeah, like let's go back and just eat at the dining hall because it's free. Another thing that I would do as well is I would just get in the habit of putting money away at the beginning of each month and just putting it in my savings. So everything I had in my checking account is stuff that I wasn't saving and I could spend. I also just started to just buy cheaper stuff. I really started to get into thrifting when I was in college. I really started getting into couponing. The Target app is a lifesaver, and rebate, like return apps like Ibotta, if you buy stuff, you can get some money back on certain items. But I would say if you're going into a rooming situation where you guys are not the best of friends or you don't really know each other, just establish the rules or establish boundaries first off. Just be like, hey, like I really want to respect you and living together in our space. So can we just establish some guidelines so we know just how to function and live together? For example, you can be like, oh, what time do you go to bed and what time do you wake up? And you can even talk about like, what's our policy on having friends over? Like, when do you want it to be quiet and not have people over? Like, are we allowed to share clothes? Are we allowed to eat each other's foods? Who cleans what? And just kind of figure and balance everything out, because two people, like sharing a room is going to be hard no matter who you are, no matter if you guys are really good friends or not, because there's always just going to be like miscommunication. I feel like it's just always best to talk about things and have open communication and kind of establish things in the beginning of the year, so later on in the year it's not like, you never said that, you know, you couldn't wear my clothes, or like, you never said that you couldn't eat my food, and it avoids a lot of hassle later on. I got a lot of questions about boys. First, let me just say that my like dating life in college is non-existent. Like, it's nothing, so sorry to disappoint. But I will say this, I feel like in college, you just really have to be careful with your relationships. I feel like you should always be careful with your relationships. Your relationships have the potential to be more serious in college just because you're older and your parents aren't around and it's just, you know, kind of a free-for-all. So be really careful in how you approach your relationships and the people that you choose to date. Always be safe, always make sure that there's consent, and also make sure that you're comfortable. Like, don't ever go on a date with someone just because you feel pressured to. I would also say too, like, you don't have to date. I don't really. So I know like a lot of people around you may, but don't feel pressured that you need to be in a relationship or start something with someone just because the people around you are. I would also say too, pick people you date wisely, because like, especially freshman year, your immaturity level and the guys in your year or your grade immaturities level is like the same as high school. You are basically the same. And I know for me, freshman year, I was not ready to be in a relationship. I was not ready to date, and I'm so glad I didn't, and the guys around me definitely weren't. I feel like we just think that college guys are automatically like super mature, and some of them are, but like a lot of them aren't. And also, I said this in my college video last year, but I would just say that keep in mind, just because someone is a good person doesn't mean that they're the greatest person or the right person for you. I would also say you should always ask 5 girls around you who are just really wise and mature and you trust their opinions about your relationships, and be like, hey, like, what do you think about this guy? Or like, how do you think about, or like, what do you think about my relationship and where it's going? And get their wisdom to kind of keep you accountable and keep you like grounded, because I know for girls, sometimes we fall fast and we ignore a lot of the red flags. I'm talking from experience, and it hurts us. I feel like if you have really good, mature friends who are honest, they'll be like, that's not it. So I'm gonna be doing a whole college like wardrobe video, but just talking from my personal experience, Liberty is a private Christian school, so we do have a dress code. It is not as strict as people make it out to be. You basically just can't wear shorts and anything that's like questionable. Like, you can't wear crop tops and booty shorts to class, but you can pretty much wear anything else. And I would say that people at Liberty though love to dress up. Like, it is a fashion show for sure. So for my Liberty girls and guys, I would just say that like, people like to dress up, people like to look nice and all that stuff there, and I'll talk more about it in like my college wardrobe video. But for people at other schools, like my brother goes to Virginia Tech and he wears pajamas to class. Like, you can basically wear whatever you want. Another question that people asked is, what do you do if you end up being in a friend group you do not end up liking? So I'm gonna be honest, my freshman year, I probably had like 3 different friend groups until I found my friends. I feel like everyone is kind of navigating just social life at the beginning of the year. But I think the cool thing about college is that you always have the opportunity to meet new people, whether it's through classes or getting involved in clubs or internships or just like hanging out with other friends and meeting their mutual friends, which is a way that I met a lot of people too. I would just say to someone who ends up being in a friend group at the beginning of their freshman year and they're like, I don't really connect with these people, like I don't really fit in, and I feel like I am not really liking it in this friend group, don't be so worried, because as time continues, as class continues, as being in your major and being in that school continues, like you will meet more people. And I also have to say that I didn't meet like my best friends at the beginning of the year. I like the friends that I'm super close with now, I didn't even meet until halfway into my freshman year. And I even met a bunch of my close friends too, like sophomore year. So just know that good friendships, like good quality friendships, can take time. So what do I actually need for classes? Is there a place I can find out what I need per class online? Most of the time for classes, you don't need a lot. I normally just bring my laptop, a notebook, and some pens to class, and that's pretty much it. Like that's all you really ever need. And for some classes though, when it comes to books, they will send you a book list and let you know, or your professors will tell you on the first day of school, like which books you need to buy. I used to buy my books before I started class, and I just stopped doing it because a lot of times my professors will be like, oh, actually, like you don't need that book. And I'll be like, well, I just bought it. And so I've just learned to wait until the first day of school. I write down like all the books and stuff that my professor will say and recommend, and then I order them from the bookstore or like from other places online. Another great resource for finding cheap textbooks is Slug Books. I use Slug Books all the time, not even sponsored by them. They're just a quality website, and you type in like the ISBN number, or like I think it's like the barcode number of that textbook, and then you can look it up and find it for so much cheaper online. And lastly, the last thing that I'm going to be talking about is how I'm graduating from college early. I get asked this all the time since I'm graduating in 3 years instead of 4. And I would just say that number one, my degree plan in itself is not very long, so I don't have to take a bunch of classes to graduate. Number two, Liberty is one of those universities that accepts a lot of transfer credits, and I probably transferred in like 15 to 18 credits, which is like a whole semester. And then I also tested out of 2 classes. That's another reason why I'm graduating early, because I had basically a whole semester of credits transferred into me. And another way that I graduated early is I actually took online classes over the summer. I'm taking 3 right now. I took 3 last summer. So that's pretty much how I graduated early. I just got a lot of credits from transfer credits, testing out of classes, summer courses, and my degree plan in itself is not like crazy long, so it's not a big struggle. So that is everything that I'm going to be answering today. My whole college survival guide, everything that I wish I knew about college. If I didn't touch on something, make sure to just leave a comment down below, because I will respond to it and I will answer any of your questions. And if you want to message me on Instagram, you can do that as well. My Instagram will be on the screen down below. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoy this video, my college survival guide for you guys freshman year. I will be back soon with some more back to school videos, and until then, bye.